Mrs. Heavy Chevy here.
Really?
Really? She's out walking and talking to herself. I told you she's crazy. What were you saying?
What was I saying? I was saying that I'm getting delayed start on my table sanding.
I drove the 55 to work today. I was allowed to by special request. And it ran good. I even filled it up with gas for you.
That's great. You're so sweet.
Ain't I? Mm-hmm. And now, let me see what I can get into here. Bet I can find something. I think I'm going to finish throwing that carburetor together. I went and bought a new float. And I got a couple little items to tweak, and then I can put it together and get that off my bench. Which would be a good thing since it's full. And then I'll see how the mood strikes me from there.
And like,
What'd you find?
I found beaver sticks in the creek. We found this big, huge creek, and like tons of them, and they're like green and everything. There's one that's like it has like a twist all the way up it. And it's
Bieber
like
sticks like Justin Bieber?
No. Like they're like chewed.
Oh, beavers.
Beaver.
Oh.
Hey, did you know your dad knew anything about Justin Bieber?
Oh my god.
Alright, we got this quadrijet done. Now I can clean off my workbench. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, I got the bench halfway cleaned off, which is about as far as I ever take it, seems like. I need to change oil in that, so I think I'm going to fire it up and let it warm up. I bought an oil filter today. The young man at the auto parts store did know what that was. He wasn't sure about a float and a carburetor, but he didn't know what an oil filter was. So that's good, I guess. Mrs. Heavy Chevy here was wanting a paintbrush, so a nice one. So I had this one here. It's old. I got it somewhere, but look there. It says pure China bristle. I guess that's before everything came from China anyhow, and it was an unusual thing, so I don't know if that's good or not. Osborne walnut line, made in USA with Chinese bristles.
So it's a
What do you make of that?
made in USA handle. But we were too cheap to make the bristles, so we sent them to China.
No, that was a big thing. Chinese bristles. It made a high quality brush.
Oh.
See, now everything's made in China anyhow, and it ain't very good.
Oh.
How come you sound so funny?
Because I have a viral thing that my daughter brought home from school. So you're making Mrs. Heavy Chevy here.
Mrs. Heavy Chevy here. Oh yeah. You may be asking yourself, what's he doing? I'm MacGyvering up some battery terminal ends is what I'm doing. What's that?
I was in the house. I'm going to try to say this without sounding nasally. I was in the house and I said, is that Dad's car running or is that the neighbor's car? And she said, that was the neighbor's car. I knew I heard that Firebird. It has a distinct, beautiful sound.
You're so smart. Yep, we're warming it up so we can change the Earl.
Alrighty.
Which it needs. Alright, let me get back to work. Alright, there it is. Just a piece of copper pipe. I did, before I put the cable in, I put some flux in it and then stuck a few pieces of solder down in there with the idea it would solder this end as well and get into the cable. And then I ran some more solder in this side. I think it worked. Now this, I think, this is house type copper, which is fairly hard. If you just warm it up with a torch good, it'll soften it up and you can do whatever you want to with it. Copper work hardens. The more you work it, the harder it gets, and then it'll start cracking. So that's what I did. Now let's see if the Firebird's warm enough to change the oil. And it is warm enough, so I'm going to change oil. Guess I won't take it down to the quick oil change place this time. Alright, we jacked up the automobile here and was doing some observing. Better not show you all the junk under my bench. Let me wheel back under here. Good grief. I've been noticing a little spot, and that is why. Looks like my return line is cracked. Need to put a new one on. I think we'll replace the other one as well. That's not good for a new asphalt driveway. And here you can see my frame connectors. And my dual exhaust. With no H-pipe. Well, that's okay. See there? That's that VHT exhaust paint. It don't do very good, don't seem like. Alright, got the oil drained out and the new oil filter on. And I got to put the oil in it yet. But first, I'm going to grease it. And I've seen all you YouTubers using these gloves, so I figured I better join the club and get some. I don't know why she's laughing at me. Alright, now it's time to see. Ooh, my goodness, we need to vacuum this thing out. Let's see if we got any oil pressure. Guess it's gonna have to stay running before we can tell that. Oh yeah. Looks like we got a light out on our oil pressure gauge. Ain't that always the way? Alright, another job well done. Now let me tinker on that 46 a while. Are you doing a good job?
I think so.
You didn't get this side yet.
I know this. One side at a time, Mr. Heavy Chevy.
Okay, Mrs. Heavy Chevy. Alright, I got the ground cable attached. And run up the frame here with a healthy separation from the hot cable. So I think that's pretty well done. Now I'm going to have to study on what I feel like doing next. The Mrs. Heavy Chevy has informed me she would like to go out to eat. So I'm going to do that as any wise man would. But first, I need to clean up a little bit here. I got tools scattered everywhere. So I'm going to tidy up a little bit, and then she probably wants me to clean up too. So I guess I better do that. Do what now?
Do it quickly and efficiently.
So let me get this straight. I got to shower and shave?
Yep.
We going someplace real fancy or something?
That.
What?
You did that just to get me going before you turned on the camera.
I wouldn't do such a thing. What you talking about, girl? All right, we're going to call it a night, right?
Yes.
All right.